Okay, 안녕하세요 everyone. My name is Penta Puppy and welcome to my channel. This is my first YouTube video and I thought, why not talk about how life brought me back to starting art again after a 7-year long break from art, anything creative, and how it changed my life. Before we begin, this video was sponsored by my parents. Thank you, Mom, for your artistic abilities, and thank you, Dad, for your financial support. Okay, so no one has asked me to make this video. I'm gonna make this video because I feel like it's a good place to start with my YouTube channel, explaining why I do art. When I was a wee child, when I was a tiny baby, my mom was an artist, so I've always had manga, anime around me as a child, and I had always been the art kid in school, obvious art kid stuff. So I had never imagined a single day being without art. Like, I could live without an insurance, but I was pretty sure I couldn't live without art. But then college happened and a lot of things happened and I stopped. Honestly, not just creativity, everything was just dry in my life during college and a few years after college. I tried a couple things to reignite, but none of it worked. I was just away from everything. And yeah, so for around 7-8ish years, I just stopped. Everything. That was until 2022. Where'd my mic go? Sorry, I need to put my mic here. Gotta put it in my mouth, But whatever, forget about mic. 2022, December. Let's just say 2023. At the time, although I was very picky, I did somehow get into liking Arashi, the Japanese boy band. I don't know how. Now that I think about it, I have no idea how I got into it. And I started watching everything related to Arashi. And I was a huge fan of Matsujun. There was a drama that he had starred in called Heartbreak Chocolatier. And then when like a show ends on a streaming platform, they kind of give you like a teaser of the next show that's going to start playing, another show, so that you can, keep watching and never leave your bed. So I finished watching Heartbreak Chocolatier and I was like, okay, I'm done. And then a teaser started playing for Heaven Official's Blessing. And I was like, I was like, you know what? I clicked on it. I watched it. No face, flat face. It had been years since I've watched anime. The first episode ended, and then I closed it. And the Fujiyoshi inside me that had been dormant for the past 7 years was like, there's something up about this. The weeb that I used to be woke up and was like, yo, there's something odd about this series. Like, this amount of quality for an original animation, makes no sense. And I was like, hold up, before we move on to the next episode, let us open Wikipedia. So I looked it up and then I realized, based off of a really famous web novel. And I was like, I knew it, it's based off of something big, because there's no way people can make something this, you can tell when there's love in a craft, right? When there's love and effort put into a craft, especially animations. Like, you can see when the animation team gets kind of tired and then they start drawing sponges instead of people. There was none of that in this series. So I was like, hold on, this book must be real good. And it got me interested. So I bought the first volume. And it was hard to get into because it had been years since I've read anything. Anything. Sorry, professors. I was a literature major, but sorry, professors. I did not read any of the books, although I did ace all the classes. I'm just smart. I hadn't read a single book from back to front for years, so it was really hard getting into this one. And on top of that, I was reading it in Korean, and oh my god, 한글 잘하지만 그 정도로 잘하진 않아요. It was really hard getting into this cultivation terminology without knowing anything about cultivation, and it was in Korean, which was a language I was a little bit more or less fluent in. And it was a little bit hard. It took about a week or two to get into, the first few pages, resting a few days, another few pages, but then it started rolling, and then it hit me in the face. And when I woke up, I was an artist. After finishing it, and I was like, you know what? If I don't make something that moves people, that touches people, like this touched me, I have no reason to be alive. Like, this is what I want to do. I want to touch people. Mom, I want to touch people. Dad, thanks for the money. I was blown away. I was rocked to the core. I had stripped away everything creative because I didn't want to feel anything. And now that I had accidentally stumbled into a pile of feels and happened to read one of the most like heartbreaking, heart-wrenching, and like biggest passionate love stories of all time, something woke up inside of me. And I was like, you know what? I want to do this. I want to make something that moves people like this. Like, what else could there be to do in this world? And then like the little dreams that I had as a child started like bubbling and then like out of control inside me, and I was like, finally, it was all good until I started drawing. And then I realized, oh, I haven't been drawing for 7-8 years. I'm so behind. And it was a really difficult thing to get over for me. Like I said, I'd always been an artistic kid. I had been the art kid. So when I picked up that pen and realized my drawings look like shit, it was really hard to take it. It was really hard to take it. I'm gonna be honest. My ego was like on the floor, shattered, eaten by a dog, and pooped out again. It was bad, but I kept going. That was how good Heaven Official's blessing was. Like, it made me confront the fact that I sucked at art, and it was like, you know what, if you suck at it, work on it. That's how good Heaven Official's blessing was. I got to work. I made a plan for myself. I'm gonna revitalize the creative juices inside me, right? Because obviously right now, I am as plain dough as a pizza with no tomato sauce on it. Undercooked, you know? Real bad. I was like, okay. First of all, I'm going to start writing again. I'm going to do everything that I used to do when I was a child. Because that is obviously what I've always been wanting to do, but I just grew out of it. And I'm going to go shove myself back into my mother's vajayjay and, you know, be like, I'm a child again. So that's what I'm going to do. So I started writing again. And for writing, I was like, okay, I don't have a good story, but I do have the passion for Heaven Official's blessing, right? So I'm going to use that, right? Fan fiction? No, thank you. Because Xie Lian and Hua Cheng are like amazing entities by themselves. I want to respect it. I don't want to turn them into little puppets of my own. No, thank you. So I decided to create my very first OCs, Xiu and Hejun. They were the first OCs that I created, and they were created for my web novel, Blessing in Disguise. Still writing it. It's so much fun thinking about it. Xiu is a K-pop idol. Hejun is a very genius, brilliant actor who's notorious for being like a little bit cynical and mean around people, right? But the two of them meet and star in the Korean live adaptation of Heaven Official's Blessing. So I could recreate the scenes from Heaven Official's Blessing, but I have my own little OCs to play with. So it was like a little fun thing that I started. So I got back into writing again. And as for drawing, like I said, you know, I had to face the truth. I suck. So I started this TikTok challenge for myself, drawing every single day until I can become a webtoon artist. Right, so I drew for around, I think, like 50 some days. I drew every single day, no matter what happened. Poop was happening around me, but I was like, I need to draw every single day. It's a promise to myself and my child, okay? Okay? Not my child as in like my baby. It's like my inner child, okay? So I was drawing every day, and for practice, I made this like little like 3-cut comic about random characters that I just drew on the spot. That kind of got a lot of attention on TikTok. So I posted it onto Webtoon Canvas and then turned it into a series. And that became my little baby, My Deer in Headlights, which was a total accident. And it's consuming a lot of my time and it's consuming a lot of my energy. It's practically all I think about in the shower, but it's my shower baby. Okay? It's my shower baby. No, I come out clean and with new episodes in my head. It took a full year for the art thing to start coming back to me and for me to also technically improve in a short amount of time. It's been difficult, but more than difficult. It's been so much fun. And of course there has been like a lot of learning and a lot of like issues that I ran into, a lot of like art blocks that I ran into as well, but I'll save the negativity for another video. But this video, I'm just here to talk about how grateful I am for Heaven Official's Blessing. Because one day if I create like a webtoon or a novel or something that like changes someone's life, like Heaven Official's Blessing changed mine, I want everyone to know. I want everyone to know. Thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, world. What time is it? I need to go to the hair salon. I have 30 minutes. Thank you, life, for bringing me back on this road, because I honestly don't know where I would be without art anymore. I don't know how I lived without it. And of course that it explains why I was so depressed for the past 7-8 years. And a lot of times I sit down and I'm like, gosh darn it, if I had started 7-8 years earlier, where would I be today? But forget it. Don't think about it. It's okay to have those thoughts, but don't mingle in it. Don't sleep with it, you know? Sleep with a happy thought that you found it. I found it. And that's all that matters at this point. I'm always brought to tears when I think about like the fact that I found art again. Because at a certain point after those 7-8 years, I was pretty sure it was just a past. It was just my childhood. Impossible to call myself an artist anymore. And even after I started art again, it took me a very long time to tell people that like I'm doing art, right? Because I felt like my technical skills weren't there yet and stuff, but I don't care. The person who does art is an artist. Not a lot of people know this, but it takes a lot to fight to do art. That's why that alone is enough to deem someone an artist. Someone who fights through their adulting. Someone who makes time in their adulting. Someone who poops a little faster to make time, to pick up their pen, to pick up their pen tablet, their eraser, whatever. That is an artist. I'm just so happy to be where I am today. Anyways, that was a really random video. If you want to be sponsored by my parents, 10% off if you use the code down below. Thank you everyone so much. See you next time.